So I'm going to answer some questions that I've been getting in my previous videos about Jesus being the antichrist and the roles being reversed in our Bible, or Christian Bible. So I wrote it down, so I'm going to be reading what I wrote down in my notes so I don't get side quested. So imagine this. The great deception would be roles reversed. So God is in hell and the devil was in heaven playing God. Jesus came down to start the awakening of those of us who are still blinded by this. So if we were in Satan's little season, the roles of God and Satan would be reversed. So the Old Testament would be Satan in God's chair. Then you would have the true God step down and letting this happen because we're in Satan's little season. He gets to run and reign. Think of it like a bet. Like little season would be Satan saying, I bet I can convince you or convince them, your followers, that I am actually God and they will continue to worship me. And then God says like, no. They will find me again and you will lose. So the roles were flipped to test us that we wouldn't be able to find the truth, that we'd stay blind faith to God, aka Satan acting as God. Jesus was a slip-in, giving us a reminder that God is within us and you know this. Shook the narrative, woke a couple people up. Some people, they woke a couple people up. Some would say hey, wait, this is wrong. People would then say, no, you're wrong and evil for thinking that way. So they would be ostracized and booted from the group. Lo and behold, Gnostic teachings, because when Gnosticism started, they had to do it in secret because it was considered blasphemy, because those teachings were pulled from the Bible and they were being like side quest. So Jesus was left in the Bible. This is a question answered from a previous post. Jesus was left in the Bible to further confuse us. He came down to fix what God said. People would say, see, he does love us. He sent his son down to show us he loves us, but then mixed it up. Jesus is from the true God, the one that stepped down from heaven so Satan could have his great deception, his reign in Jesus's throne, or God's throne. So think of it this way. Jesus snuck into the world to teach us and to remind us, hey, you guys, pay attention. It's getting close to the end. Or, I'm going to leave this little tidbit, this little sprinkle of knowledge here so that way you guys can find me again. And he left us clues. He left us clues like Revelations 22, chapter 16. He had said things that went against like the God's teachings. And that threw everything through a loop. So another part is that I have a hard time with is, why would God have to sneak in to impregnate Mary? If he was divinely protected, he wouldn't have had her to sneak in and impregnate her, and then all of a sudden everything's out trying to kill him. So everybody was trying to unalive him. You had the Bethlehem massacre. They took off to Egypt. They did all these things because they were not divinely protected. And that angel came down and whispered it to Mary. Like, hey, we're going to get you pregnant. You're going to have this little baby, but they're going to try to kill him. Because in my mind, a third of the angels that fell from heaven went with the true God. So the true God fell from heaven. Satan went up to his seat. There was the deception from the bad now God, which is Satan, in his throne of God's throne. God is sitting down, watching this play out with random messengers that he sends. Like, hey, we're going to send Jesus. We're going to have random people start waking up. And that is the deception. So during the little season, Satan gets to rule. God steps down. If we're in the little season, because if you read Revelations, in that book, near the very end, I can't remember the exact part, but it said that the time is going to happen soon, which means don't seal this. This is coming. So it would have happened in that time frame. It would have been in their lives. Possibly, John's life. So the false god, Satan, is sitting in God's throne because it's his reign is little season. We get 1,000 years of Satan ruling. God stepped down. We're being deceived because God stepped down and let Satan rule. That's what Satan little season is. We have all of these teachings. When you read the Bible, the Old Testament, and the way God treats people, that is cruel. That is not God. God is setting down. God is the true Almighty. And I'm so sorry. I know we have confusion because you're thinking I'm saying that Jesus is the bad guy. Jesus isn't the bad guy. Jesus was sent from God, who stepped down from his thrones while Satan ruled. And Jesus was sent by God to earth to remind us this is actually deception. You are in here getting deceived by the dude sitting in the throne that I allowed for 1,000 years. Now, I'm going to broach a little bit on Tartaria. I was going to wait for a different video, but I might as well do it now because I'm up and I am thinking about it. So if you've ever researched Tartaria, they have founded buildings, right? So they've changed the dates on those. If you look into other people's videos and even people like doing traveling and showing the buildings, they're always founded. We found them. We didn't build them, we found them. So the time has been messed up. It's not really 2026. It's, according to what people have found and researched on this, it's actually 1,000 years wrong. So we're actually in 1026. How old was Jesus when he died? Any takers here? So he was what, 33? We're at 2026, but if we go with the Tartaria theory, we are actually at 1026. How long is Satan's little season? 1,000 years, which means we're coming up on 33. When does everybody say that the world's going to go crazy? What's been going on in the world? How many crazy things have been happening? So much deceiving and anger and fighting and people eating people and plagues and just like constant dividing and constant anger and constant manipulation to making people hate each other. Oh, if you're black, you have to hate the whites. If you're white, you have to hate blacks. If you're gay, you have to hate the straights. If you're a Christian, you have to hate the Muslims. It's just repeating. Like everything is division because they don't want us united. Because if we're united, like we're doing on my TikTok, we start figuring it out. We start getting the answers. All of us have the knowledge. And the main point of my post the other day was to get everybody talking. I came to that conclusion and I was super excited. I did not know I was going to pull up this fast and have this many people. And you guys, thank you so much for following me. I love you dearly. But I also want to throw in this little caveat. This place is for a place of learning. If you disagree with me, tell me why. I love being taught. My entire purpose on this planet at this time is to get out the information that I learn and be taught by you. But we're going to have good time. This is going to be conversations. This is going to be open. You're going to be able to say whatever you want and nobody's going to judge you. And if you do judge me, you're off. You're out. If you judge the people in my comments for posting things, even if they contradict everything that I'm saying, that's what they've learned. That's where they're at in this journey. And that's what's so cool about all this. We get a chance to discuss this openly. While we still can, we're going to do it. And we're going to do it on my page, or we're going to start conversations on your page. Tell me. I will come and talk to you. I will tell people to go follow you. I want a community where we can converse. That's beautiful. We're going to do this.